How's everyone doing today? It's your boy JJ Domination, and we are here to make our Week 3 predictions for the 2019-2020 NFL season. Of course, we've already had the Thursday night football game happen. I picked the Titans to win in my video. They did not win. The Jacksonville Jaguars took care of business 20-7. We're going to go over that game when we talk about Week 3 in a nutshell, so no breakdown here. We're just going to be doing straight up predictions. So we have a lot of games on slate, of course. Everyone else will be playing through the course of this week. So let's go ahead and start off with the first matchup listed. The Cincinnati Bengals will be taking on the Buffalo Bills. These two teams are very different because the Cincinnati Bengals are 0-2 and the Buffalo Bills are 2-0, and Buffalo is technically not left the New York, New Jersey area because they beat the New York Jets and the New York Giants. This is technically their first home game in Orchard Hill Park, or whatever their home stadium's called. I totally forget. But no Devin Singletary. It'll be Frank Gore getting the bulk of the carries. I like the way Buffalo's been playing football. You know, they have a great defense. Ed Oliver's been a stud this season, and they just continue to run the football, making sure that Josh Allen doesn't lose them any ball games, and, you know, making sure Josh Allen isn't a loose cannon out there. They kind of have him playing well. I am going to go with not Cincinnati. I will be going with Buffalo, excuse me. I just don't think Cincinnati will be able to match what Buffalo is doing at the line of scrimmage. I don't think physically they're as good as Buffalo, and I think Buffalo is just in a better position to win this football game. The Detroit Lions at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have been decimated with injuries. They just came off of a primetime loss against the Atlanta Falcons. This is a team, including myself, that a lot of people are picking to come out of the NFC as like the representative, you know, supposedly for a Super Bowl potentially. And just because they lose one game in Atlanta, that doesn't necessarily mean it won't happen. I mean, people are already writing off Philadelphia, you know, being a little overreactive per se. Detroit, I mean, they do match physically with a lot of teams. They were able to beat the Chargers last week, and it wouldn't surprise me if they beat Philadelphia. But even with Philadelphia having all their injuries, I say they find a way to get out of this game, and I will say that Philadelphia is able to get the job done against the Detroit Lions. The New York Jets now will go to Foxborough to take on those Patriots. Of course, New England just released Antonio Brown as of yesterday, as of recording this, which was Friday. I'm recording this on Saturday. Antonio Brown has been released. Hopefully all of his legal issues are okay, but this team will be without AB. It's not like they really needed him anyway. It was more of a luxury signing, but the Patriots are favored to win this thing by like 23 points. You could put the line at 27 and I'd still bet it, because the Jets just aren't that good of a football team. You know, like, yeah, they're a good football team, but not really. I don't know. They're weird. Like, their defense has actually been feisty, but offensively, I mean, Luke Falk is fine, but he's not going to phase Tom Brady and company. The Patriots are at home. I really don't like to bet against them when they're at home. So, yeah, so far the home teams are taking the sweep, and if you think it's going to change here, it's not. I will be taking the Vikings over the Raiders. In short, the Raiders defense got embarrassed last week. I know it was only 28 points given up, so you do have some pride there if you're Oakland. You know, you didn't get the Baltimore versus Miami treatment of 59-10, but Patrick Mahomes went off in that second quarter against Oakland. Minnesota coming off of a game that they arguably should have won against Green Bay, but they weren't able to get the job done. Shot themselves in the foot too many times with penalties and with turnovers. They are at home. They played very well at home against Atlanta the first time. I think they played very well at home the second time against the Oakland Raiders. Ravens at Chiefs. This is the game that everyone's been talking about all week in the media. Lamar Jackson, he has been playing some very good football, making the throws that he couldn't make 8 months ago. He has just been looking pretty good. And Patrick Mahomes, yeah, what about that slump exactly? He has been playing great football himself. Statistically, both quarterbacks are pretty similar aside for yards. Patrick Mahomes has 100 more passing yards, but outside of that, I mean, they're very similar. No turnovers this season. Something has to give, though. The Ravens' defense is pretty good. You know, I talk about them all the time being a top 3 defense. They didn't look quite like a top 3 defense against Arizona, But scoring defense-wise, I mean, they didn't give up 20 points. Breaking news, they're going to give up 20 points to Kansas City and more. I am going to pick Kansas City to win. I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to march in the Arrowhead and outplay Patrick Mahomes and beat him. I think he can play well. But I think when it's all said and done, I just think Kansas City will be able to outlast Baltimore. I could see a score of like 31-26 or, 34-28. I can just see like a one-possession game where Baltimore is just not quite able to keep up with the firepower that Kansas City has offensively, even without Tyreek Hill. And I think Baltimore's a great team, but I feel like it's just going to be a little too close and a little out of reach for Lamar Jackson and company. Falcons at Colts, I think I'm going to take the Falcons here. The Falcons have been pretty inconsistent. This is a game that they should win, though. They're riding high off of beating Philadelphia at home in Sunday Night Football in prime time. The week before, they got abused by Minnesota's, offensive line. The Colts have a pretty good offensive line, and they may get abused there, but I look at the other side of the spectrum, the Falcons offense versus the Colts defense. It's looking like Darius Leonard isn't going to play. It really didn't impact my decision any. What it comes down to is I trust Atlanta's defense more than Indianapolis's when it comes to stopping the playmakers. No one's got an answer to neutralize Julio in that secondary for Indianapolis, whereas at least you have Desmond Trufant in Atlanta. And I just think the Falcons will be able to outlast the Colts. I think it'll be a somewhat close game, maybe an 8-point game, but I think the Falcons win. Broncos at Packers, come on, man. I am not picking against my team quite yet. I love the way we've been playing. Denver, they're 0-2, but they're sneaky. They've been in close ball games. It's not like they've been getting blown out or beaten down. They've been in every game this season. That includes the Oakland Raiders game, a game that arguably they should have won if they just, get after the quarterback a little bit. But Denver is due for a big-time performance, but I just don't see how Denver can get anything going offensively outside of Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, Phillip Lindsay hasn't really had the greatest season running the football, whereas last year he was like the cool, undrafted underdog story. Outside of Emmanuel Sanders, they need to find some offense, and I don't know if they do. The way Green Bay's defense has been playing, I'm really not too sure. But for Green Bay, we'll see. I mean, it's their offense against this defense. Last time Aaron Rodgers played Denver, it was 2015, and it was Aaron Rodgers' worst regular season game I've ever seen. This defense isn't quite 2015. They're good. They're respectable. I think they can be a top 10 defense. They haven't quite shown it yet. But who knows, man? It's all about what happens on the field. Except for this game. On paper and on the field, this is the easiest decision. I'm taking Dallas. I think this is basically going to be like Alabama versus whatever local school they face, because, basically just sit your starters after the first half. Go down there, score 38 points, and then sit your starters. Have Cooper Rush come in there and throw for 3 touchdowns in the second half or something. I don't know. Dallas is easily going to win this game. This is not a good game to be throwing Josh Rosen to the Wolves. You got DeMarcus Lawrence coming off the edge. Robert Quinn's activated, facing his old team, and you have those 2 linebackers, Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch. Byron Jones, I'm pretty sure, is going to be all over the field. This is a bad time to start Josh Rosen. I don't agree with the decision to even put him in there, but that's a whole nother video and a whole nother discussion. Dallas is going to blow the brakes off of Miami, and it is my lock of the week. You guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, my lock of the week. I almost forgot to do locks and upsets. This is my lock of the week. Cowboys beating the Dolphins. And here we are, New York Giants at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Daniel Jones making his first start. Eli, they basically phased him out of the starting lineup. That's cool. I mean, respect to Eli. He is a New York legend, arguably a Hall of Famer. I mean, you look at the resume, he's probably going to get in. I will be taking Tampa Bay, though. Tampa Bay has bizarrely been good this year. Like, if Jameis Winston wasn't such an inconsistent turnover-happy quarterback, I mean, they could be 2-0. I mean, you got to think, Tampa Bay scored 17 points. The 49ers offense against a defense transitioning to a 3-4 under Todd Bowles held San Francisco to 17 points. The other 2 touchdowns that San Francisco got came off of Jameis Winston turnovers, a pick 6 for Richard Sherman and a pick 6 for Quan Alexander. And then last week, they played very good against Cam Newton. Christian McCaffrey couldn't get going. And here they are playing Saquon Barkley and Evan Ingram. I think if they can at least neutralize the 2, it's going to be a tough game for Daniel Jones. I'll take Tampa Bay to win at home. Panthers at Cardinals, I'm going to be going with the Arizona Cardinals. I think what it comes down to here is Cam Newton's not playing. They're going to be rocking out with Kyle Allen, who's been in the system for a little bit. He'll have some good playmakers at his disposal. Maybe it gives the Carolina Panthers a shot in the arm, because the excuse out there for Cam is he's been playing hurt. Yeah, because he's the only quarterback in NFL history that's ever played hurt before. Let's give him a free pass, right? Nope, I'm not doing that. You've been terrible. Own it. Defensively, they're still trying to find themselves. It's going to be a learning curve for everyone involved. It's been a tough year so far for Carolina, losing 2 straight home games to open your season. Arizona has not won a game yet, but they're not a terrible football team, man. They've been in every football game. They tied against Detroit and they lost by 6 to Baltimore. It's not like they've been losing by 40-plus points every week like the Miami Dolphins. They're not terrible. They're a decent team. I think at the end of the day, they'll finish with a terrible record and they'll look like a bottom 5 team, but as of now, they don't look too bad. Jesus Christ. Steelers at 49ers. I think I'm going to go with San Francisco, but it wouldn't surprise me if this game was a lot closer than people think. Mason Rudolph's not terrible. He's not Big Ben, but he can throw the deep ball. He is a sneaky good athlete like Big Ben. He's also big. They have kind of like a similar weight. They're the same size in terms of being 6'5". He's not Big Ben, there's a difference between him and Mason Rudolph, but physically and in terms of the similar aspects of the game, they're basically the same dude. But obviously Mason Rudolph is not Big Ben Roethlisberger. Same thing with Teddy Bridgewater. He's not Drew Brees, but I will take the 49ers at home. The Steelers' defense concerns me. This will be Minkah Fitzpatrick's first game as a Steeler. I don't know where he's going to play. Is he going to play free safety, strong safety, boundary corner, slot corner? My suggestion would be slot corner, but they need so much help in the secondary. He could probably play anywhere and be a rock. That's just my feeling. Right here, though, we do have the Saints at the Seahawks. I will be taking Seattle at home. I will be taking Seattle at home. They're favored, of course, and no Drew Brees, which means Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill actually going to be getting playing time. Now, I disagree with this partially. I think it should just be Teddy Bridgewater, because Sean Payton would have to dedicate a lot of time at practice and the walkthroughs trying to cater an offense around Taysom Hill. It's not as easy as it looks either. I know Sean Payton's smart. He's a very good offensive mind in football, but you're basically killing all this time hoping that you can find something that works at the quarterback position, when really you can do the same stuff you were doing with Drew Brees with Teddy Bridgewater. Hand it off to Kamara, check it down to Kamara, throw it over the middle to Michael Thomas, maybe do some trick plays like a sweep to Ted Ginn Jr. or a little screen pass to Traquan Smith, or maybe you do a tight end screen with Jarrett Cook. You don't have to overcomplicate these things, Sean Payton. Geez, we get it. You love Taysom Hill. You called him Steve Young during the preseason. But the Seahawks are just a better football team at the moment, and they have their starting quarterback in. Tyler Lockett is pretty damn good. We knew that. DK Metcalf, pretty damn good. We're finding that out, even though a lot of people should have known from the jump. And Seattle's defense, there's still some learning curves. They're going to get it together eventually. Maybe they're the team that trades for Jalen Ramsey. I don't know. But let's see right here. I have 3 games left, which means there has to be an upset of the week somewhere between these 3. But I'm having a hard time of figuring out which game it's going to be. So for now, I think I'm just going to give the Houston Texans the win. If you want to count this as an upset of the week, I'll put it on the screen. I'm going to give the Texans the win against the Chargers. The Chargers just have slow starts to their season. Austin Eckler has been playing great, arguably the most productive running back right now. You know, Houston, they've been playing some great football. They've won a close game. They lost a close game. I imagine this will be another close game. It could rival Baltimore versus Kansas City for the best game of the week. It could rival Rams and Browns as well for the best game of the week. You know, like Deshaun Watson is that damn good and that much of a must-watch quarterback. Same thing with Phillip Rivers, man. This game could steal the show this weekend. Don't surprise me. You know, it doesn't surprise me. This will be the game I watch out of all the afternoon games. Shout out to NFL Sunday Ticket. You know, that's the game I'm going to watch. Along with Seahawks and Saints because, you know, Russell Wilson's my fantasy quarterback. But the Texans, I guess, will be my upset of the week for a second time out of 3 weeks. Rams at Browns. The atmosphere is going to be electric. Baker Mayfield has not played the greatest football the last couple of weeks. So far, it's just been a little rough. But there are a lot of star players in this game. Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, Brandon Cooks, Odell Beckham, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, an emerging star. You know, there's just so many big-name players. I think I'm going to give the Rams the edge. I don't really think it's an upset. The Rams are a better football team. They're a more respected football team. And the Browns, you know, they're going to continue to struggle. I mean, they're just a very talented team that can't win. It's not like we've never seen it before. I mean, the Browns are very talented. They're good. I want the Browns to do good, okay? I really do. But you got to show me you can beat somebody. Wow, you beat the Jets with their second-string quarterback getting hurt and their third string having to come in. Like, wow, am I supposed to be impressed? Am I supposed to buy into the Super Bowl hype now because you beat Luke Falk? You beat a third-string quarterback? Am I supposed to be impressed? No, I'm not. Beat the Rams. Beat the 49ers. You know, like beat the Patriots coming out of your bye week. Like that, I need impressive wins. And I don't think I'm going to get that from the Browns this week. Bears Redskins, it's close. It's closer than people think. I'll go with the Bears. I think the Redskins could make this an interesting game. I don't think they're completely terrible. I mean, yeah, they're 0-2 for a reason. They blew a lead against Philadelphia, and they were just outmatched against Dallas. It's as simple as that. Chicago, a very defensive-oriented team, they can afford to be in these low-scoring, close games. I'm not sold on Mitchell Trubisky, and this Redskins defense is no slouch. I know they've given up a lot of points this season, but in spurts, this defense could play very well, and it wouldn't surprise me if they hit Trubisky in the mouth a few times and they're like, damn, the Redskins aren't as bad as we thought they were. The Redskins aren't as bad as we've been projecting them to be. You know, that could be the reality of it. But I do think Chicago's the better team and they'll win. It's that simple. So, in conclusion, Bills, Eagles, Patriots, Vikings, Chiefs, Falcons, Packers. My lock of the week being the Cowboys, Tampa Bay, Arizona, San Francisco, Seattle. Upset of the week, Houston Texans, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Chicago Bears are my predictions, my picks for the week. Now, last week I was 9-7. It was a little rough, but we finished above 500 for the week. The previous week we were 11-4-1. So hopefully this week we do pretty good. But I will see you guys for the next prediction video, of course. Sunday I'll upload some Lions franchise. Monday I'll figure out what the hell I'm doing Monday. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy. Peace out.